What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Fight Out podcast with Ella Mike. This week, we're breaking down UFC Vegas 96, Cannonier versus Borralho. We're going to be talking through the card, obviously giving predictions like we usually do. So, obviously, if you're liking what we're saying, let us know in the comments. If you don't like what we're saying, you think we're two thumbheads, let us know in the comments. We'll have a little chat down there. Just before we dive in, if you could remember to like, comment, subscribe, it'll help us out. And obviously, if you want to see more videos like this, that's the way to know what's going on. Mike, how we doing, mate?
All good. Last video did pretty well, didn't it? So we're happy. Yeah. Well, it did well in terms of views and sort of comments and likes, but didn't do so well in our predictions. So we'll hope our predictions are a bit better this week.
Yeah, definitely. There was a very interesting comment about Dricus du Plessis as well. If people are interested, go and have a mooch with someone from South Africa talking about why he is the way he is, basically. But this week, UFC Fight Nights 96, Cannonier versus Borralho. We'll start at the main event then, Mike. Cannonier versus Caio Borralho. What are we thinking? What are your thoughts?
Well, first things first, I just want you to say his name one more time. I'm loving the way you're pronouncing that.
Caio Borralho.
Yeah, for me it was Borralho. I was just going Borralho.
You got it. Listen, mate. I'm half Brazilian, you know. It's
cultured. You cultured swine,
yeah. That all morning in the mirror.
I thought you had. Yeah, what do you think of the fight? What do you think of this one?
Big test. And I've said that a few times, but this is a really big test. The more I was looking into it, the more I was thinking, massive test. I think it's just the right time, personally, for Borralho.
Yeah, I would pretty much agree with what you've said. So there, I like Borralho, however you say his name. I like him. I think Cannonier is on the opposite end of his career. He's 40, although he certainly doesn't fight or look like he's 40. I think it's the right time for Borralho, and I think he will get it done. I think he mixes it up better than Cannonier. Cannonier is looking for that shot to put him away, and I think Borralho will mix it up really well in this fight.
Yeah, I think there's this card is a little bit like the new age card. There's a few up and comers on it. Obviously, there's two TUF finals as well. And there's a little bit like old guard versus new guard on the fights. Obviously, the main event's prime example. I like Borralho. He's got like a karate style, and he's in and out. He's fast. Yeah. He's very fast, and I think that's what Cannonier will struggle with, because Cannonier struggled in the past with Whittaker, who's obviously top end of the spectrum of that style. Yeah. But he struggled with him. He struggled with somebody else with it, and like we said, he is probably on latter stages of the career. He's got good wins. He's beat Strickland, he's beat Brunson, beat Gastelum as well, I think. But yeah, massive step up in competition. And like I said, I just think it's the right time. Borralho looks very good against Paul Craig. I mean, I know Paul Craig, you're not talking championship level there, but he absolutely dismantled him. Paul Craig probably shouldn't have even been in there with him. He was hurt a lot. Again, with the in and out style, which I think he'll catch Cannonier with. Vettori hurt Cannonier, who Vettori's not a notoriously big puncher, where Borralho looks like he's got a bit. So yeah, I'm backing him. I think it'll be a decision. I can't see him finishing him. Because what makes the fight interesting for me is the 5 rounds, because we've never seen him do it. Borralho, I'm talking about. And he's definitely got one of them styles where he will fatigue, he will fade as the fight goes. So it'll be quite interesting, to be honest, to see his gas tank.
Well, I'm interested in that, what you said, because I don't think Cannonier is particularly known for his tank, his gas tank, and he's had a few 5-round fights himself, so he might be a bit more. He might be a bit more well versed in the art of a 5-round fight. But I think with the style Borralho's got, I think that will grate on Cannonier, and I've got Borralho to get a late stoppage in the championship rounds.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he got a stoppage against Olasheychuk, didn't he?
Well, he stopped Olasheychuk. That was in my notes as well. So he stopped Olasheychuk, and Sharabullah couldn't do that. I don't think Borralho strikes quite like Sharabullah, but he mixes it up well. And for me, the stoppage will come from the mixing it up. He'll mix up his wrestling and his striking throughout the fight. And by the 4th and 5th round, I think Cannonier might just be a bit tired and he'll get a stoppage.
Okay. I like that. I think he finished Olasheychuk in the second. I remember he had a bad first round. He was getting a bit.
Yeah.
I'm sure he subbed him, didn't he?
He subbed Olasheychuk, yeah.
Yeah, nice finish. The
The only thing, the only worry for me is like we're touching on Cannonier being like an old dog and sort of coming towards the end, but he did have a recent fight with Imavov, and he was definitely winning that fight. I know he got stopped, but it was an early stoppage, and he was winning that fight. So he's still very, very much a live dog, and Borralho's going to have to be on it for all 5 rounds because he's a very live dog.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm not trying to say like Cannonier is over the hill or anything. I definitely think he is on the sort of latter stage of the career.
Yeah.
But spot on, mate. Yeah, like Borralho's going to have to be right on the game. Like it's a big step up in competition. Like I said, Cannonier's fought the far better fighters. He's beat some, he's lost to some, but he's got a lot more experience. I just like the look of this Borralho. I like the style of it, and I think that can cause problems for Cannonier. But yeah, definitely not dead and buried. Like,
I don't particularly love like UK bookmakers' take on UFC fights, but I think they've got this one dead right. I think I've seen, but Borralho's a 1-2 favourite, and Cannonier is sort of nearly a 2-1 dog, and I think that's exactly right. That's exactly how it should be positioned.
I think Borralho decision. Let me just get me thing up. Got it on my phone. You see, Borralho decision is 7-4, which I really like.
Yeah,
I can't see that happening. Finish is even higher.
What's the finish?
The finish is 5-1 by KO, 5-2 by submission.
I'd be if I'm betting
on it, for just finish.
Yeah, if I'm betting on it, I'd be looking to combine them. I wouldn't be selecting a sub or a TKO. I'd be combining them and just doing them by finish, which I'd imagine is probably somewhere around the 2-1 mark, maybe, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Well, moving on then. Co-main events.
Yeah.
2 ladies, Tabatha Ricci and Angela Hill. I think it's a very close fight. Tabatha Ricci's a little bit younger. Angela Hill, again, I'm not saying she's over the hill. I didn't even mean to do that there. She's obviously she's been around longer. Again, probably in the latter stages of her career, a little bit of old guard versus new guard, maybe. I like the fight. It's very, very close. What way have you got it going?
Well, I to be honest, I had the same thing sort of in my head as you. This card feels a little bit like it's like passing of the guard, changing of the guard type of thing. And this is the second of 3 fights on the main card, whereby I think it's sort of a litmus test. The Dana's set up a litmus test for 3 younger fighters. I think you've got Borralho, Tabatha Ricci, and further down the card you've got Michael Morales, the undefeated fighter, which we'll get to. I think them 3 fights are like tests before these fighters step up the rankings and get bigger fights. And obviously I've already picked Borralho in the first one, and I'm going with Ricci again in this one. I think the younger, fresher dog just gets it done on the old vet. Yeah,
I've gone the same. I'm just trying to check on my phone. It kind of reminds me of when Poirier fought Saint Denis.
Yeah.
Card UFC 299. It was similar. There was a few dogs on there. I'm just trying to check what the card was. Michael Page, Kevin Holland, Gilbert Burns, Jack Maddalena.
Yeah.
And Song Yudong. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that card a little bit, like you're saying, old versus new. I got Tabatha Ricci just. I did change my mind on this once. So we both beat Lupi, who just fought then, who didn't look out of place there. And we both regard Mackenzie Dern as quite high standard. So they're both at that level.
Didn't Tabatha Ricci lose to Lupi? Or split decision?
No, I'm sure she beat her. Didn't she get beat by
She's lost 2. She lost to Manon Fiorot or whatever she's called, the rank 2, who's going to be fighting for the belt, just beat Erin Blanchfield. And I'm sure she lost to Lupi, you know.
So much. But just to my point anyway, with what they're doing. I always like that. So they're both active, to be fair, because I was looking at how active Angela Hill still is, and to be fair, she is quite active. She fights 2 times a year. Tabatha Ricci fights 3 times a year quite often. Apologies, she did get beat by Lupi.
I thought Lupi beat her, split decision, very close fight, like.
The last fight against Pennington was boring, mate. I remember didn't watch it on the night. I watched it. It was a fight night card. I watched it the morning after, and I think round 1 she just didn't start well, and then the other round she just took her down, and it was a bit boring. Which
was that another split as well?
Yeah. It's kind of how I'm maybe expecting this to go, because they both go to split decisions quite a lot. Angela Hill. So if you could bet specifically on split decision, I wouldn't be against that.
The only thing on this fight that like sort of my eyes lit up at this fight, I've recently watched a playback of Angela Hill against Mackenzie Dern.
Yeah.
The way Mackenzie Dern mixed it up in that fight, I just think if Ricci follows that game plan, because Ricci can mix it up better than Hill. I think if she follows the game plan Mackenzie Dern, the blueprint Mackenzie Dern set out, I think it'll be a win for her, a decision win.
Yeah. It was. That was a decent little fight, to be fair. That's what I mean. Like, Angela Hill has fought the better people overall.
Yeah, definitely.
It's because she's been around for longer, obviously. That's what they're trying to obviously get Tabatha Ricci too with this kind of fight, which I do like. And I think maybe, again, similar to the main event, it's a little bit of right timing for it.
Yeah.
She's on the climb, she's fighting often, she's in there. So good, there's no injuries or whatever. I think she'll just edge it.
Yeah, it's kind of it's typical, as you say, of the UFC, and I spoke about it last week when we spoke to Chris Duncan, and sort of with the Poirier fight when he fought Saint Denis, it's like people have short memories and they always want the younger, fresher fighter to win. But then on this card, I'm picking the younger, fresher fighter, so it's like a catch-22, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, with with this fight, Angela Hill, Tabatha Ricci, I wouldn't really argue with anyone going Angela Hill. For me, it literally is a coin toss. Just me head saying Ricci. With the main events, I do really think Caio Borralho is going to win that. So
I'm in the exact same boat on the two fights we've done so far. I'm in the same boat.
If I get the main event wrong, I can I'll take that and go, I was completely wrong. If Angela Hill wins this, I'm going to say, on the fence really.
If I can get sort of decent enough odds for that Borralho late finish, I'll probably ignore this fight and leave it out and just watch it and enjoy.
Yeah, it's one of them though. It's close to evens, so if you do call it,
it's a value adder. But as I said last week with the Adesanya Duplessis fight, some of these fights are genuine 50-50s.
Yeah. So that moves us into the two TUF finals. One of them I can't find odds for anywhere. There's no odds on the UFC website. There's no odds on Sky Bet. There's no odds on William Hill. So I can't talk about odds for that fight. I've still got to pick. But what fight do you want to start with out of them two?
Well, I've seen odds for both fights, so only for winner, not for KO decision and stuff. Just for outright winner. So I can help you with the odds on it. But we'll start with Valentin versus Lauder if you want.
Yeah. So this is the one for me that I've gone back and forth on so many times.
Yeah.
Did you watch them on TUF? Did you watch the semis?
I'm not going to lie and say I've seen loads of these four fighters coming up. I haven't seen much at all. What I did watch, the one TUF episode I've watched was Valentin's semi-final where he fought the Irish lad, Paddy McGorry.
Yeah.
And to be honest, he come through and he's got himself to the final, but it wasn't an amazing showing. And he got caught a couple of times and he got hurt.
I haven't watched it as a series. I've gone back and watched their fights now, the fights that they've had on there, and done research on them the way that we will. And spot on with Valentin for me. He was reckless, coming swinging wild, but you can see that he's violent. If you picture a cage fighter, it's him in it, tattooed, with a beard on him.
He feels like a throwback, doesn't he? He feels like a throwback to sort of the Chuck Liddell days and stuff. He fights like that and he looks like that.
And then apart, he looks slick, like he was throwing spinning back kicks, spinning elbows, throwing all madness, and then he'd throw a mad overhand or something and it rough, a little bit like DDP to be honest, but obviously nowhere near as good. But the thing for me was he was very hittable, and he was hittable to a degree where I think he was very takedownable as well, because the second you come at him, when he was going backwards, he didn't look good at all, and he got hurt very badly in the semi. Eventually went for a weird takedown that he got and done a judo throw and got quite a nice submission, to be fair. But very hittable. Ryan Lauder, for me, is a very limited striking that he showed on his TUF fights. I've looked back through his record. He's got an okay record. He's clearly a wrestler with a lot of takedowns, very takedown heavy. The round two of the semi. Round one was a snooze fest for me. Got the takedown at the end, stole the round. He was throwing body shots, but weren't like throwing up submissions or anything.
Yeah.
Round 2, I thought the two of them got very busy, and I don't know how many takedowns he got. I don't know how many he got credited with, but there was quite a few in there where he had him down, he tried to get back up, he'd throw him back down, and he was relentless, and he looked good, I thought, in round 2. Got clipped in round 3, so he is also hittable, which kind of makes it interesting because Valentin was quite wild. But I'm just going Ryan Loader, and he's lovely odds. He was 6-5 earlier, now he's 11-8.
Yeah.
It's so, they're quite nice odds for me now.
Yeah. Well, I haven't got, as I say, I haven't got loads of knowledge on these 4 fighters that are coming through TUF. Obviously, you'll get to know them as they fight in the UFC a little bit better. But I've gone Valentin just purely based on the grit I saw in the semi-final. I think grit isn't enough to get you through against high-level opponents, but these aren't high-level opponents, and I think the grit will just get them through.
Yeah. I don't hate it, but we're disagreeing on it. I'm going Loader.
Yeah. And
I'm not going to bet on decision or KO or anything like that. I'm just going Loader.
Yeah, I like your reasons why. I like if Ryan Loader's a wrestle heavy fighter, then I can see his route to victory. So I like your reasoning why.
Yeah, and then obviously the one for me that I haven't been able to see the odds on is the next one because I knew the odds for that one.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, what a name, mate! Genghis Khan. I went for him just for his name, and then I was looking into what he's done.
Yeah.
I've got him as well. So who's the favourite in that? I reckon it's the other fella.
Yeah, Maidon Santos is 4-7. Yeah, and Genghis Khan again is about 11-8. I think I see.
Too nice. I might be able to take Tabatha Ricci out now if you fancy the tough fighters more. Like,
well, just to argue with you again, I've gone for Maidon Santos. I'm going to be 100% honest on this fight. I haven't seen much of either fighter. My pick is purely based on who I'd like to win, based on the fact he's younger and fresher. I'd have a new, fresher fighter in the division, and I think I've seen Khan Offley is 31. Maidon Santos is only 24, 25. Got loads to learn. I'd rather see him. I think he's 11 or 12-1. I know you can stat pad outside of the UFC, and I don't know if that's what's been done, but I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him in the UFC.
Yeah. I haven't got a lot of knowledge of either of them. I've done some research. I've seen on some Reddit and stuff like that. People were saying he was good on the Australian circuit, Khan Offley. Good on the regional circuit. He beat like good opposition there. What was the fella with the mullet who just fought in Australia? Jack
Jenkins.
Jack Jenkins, yeah. Well, the lad who basically replaced Jack Jenkins is like the in Australia. Khan Offley's beat him, and obviously he's on the rise a little bit. They like the look of him. By the way, he's the ringer of Chad Mendes as well when he's fighting. Doesn't look like it on that picture, but when he's fighting, he's the ringer, and he's the same height. He's 5'6". Like, he was the absolute ringer of him. And yeah, he got in. I watched this fight. So the semi again. I'll focus on the semi mainly. Though he got took down and submitted quick sharp. So I liked it. I just like to sort of look for him for what I can find online. With the other fella, I couldn't really find much online. So that's kind of why I went with Khan Offley. So it was two there that were going against each other.
Yeah. As you say there, I think a concern you've just shot up there, and I didn't realise that the size, but I think 5'6" for a featherweight's really small. That could be problematic for him.
He had a 6-inch reach disadvantage or something, I'm sure, in that semi.
Yeah, and I don't know whether the person he fought was particularly big and rangy, but I'd imagine at 5'6" nowadays, you're going to have that sort of reach disadvantage in most fights with featherweights. How sort of, I think you've got Sean O'Malley in the weight division below, who's about 5'10". Yeah,
he's a bit of a freak, though, isn't he?
But even like sort of the likes of Elias Apori is probably not tall, is he? About 5'8", 5'9".
I don't think he's that. I think
he's quite short and compact, isn't he? I suppose.
Well, his look. I mean, the champ was Volk, pound for pound #1. He was 5'6".
Yeah.
Or 5'7", maybe.
He had everything, didn't he? He mixed it up so well, though.
But like Khan Offley is a similar like build and that to him. Like limited knowledge, so there's not much I can go into, but just a good feeling. I'm going with him. And now they're the odds. I like it even more, to be honest. There's two lovely odds fights there for me.
Yeah.
So that brings us now into Morales versus Magny, which we've both texted each other through the week and just said, wow, Magny's odds are absolutely out of this world, mad.
It's like I've got like a devil and an angel on my shoulder. the angel is saying stay away from this fight because Magny won't win and Morales' price isn't worth it. And then the devil on my shoulders just saying 5-1 Magny is insane.
Yeah. I can't agree more. Like, Magny's got good wins. He beat the Leech, beat Jeff Neal, he beat D-Rod. He's a win-or-loss fighter though, and he won his last one. So your odds are going to say he's going to lose this one. Like, literally, I think his last 10 is win, loss, win.
But if you have a look at Magny's record, his last 3 losses are against Ian Gary, Gilbert Burns, and Shavkat.
I know, it's outrageous.
Ian Gary, as we touched on before, Ian Gary is the ultimate UFC litmus test. They put kids in against him, and if you beat him, it normally means you're on a one-way track to sort of title contention. And if you don't beat him, you disappear into the abyss almost. That's what Neil Magny's there for, and that's what Morales is fighting.
Yeah. The thing is that has made it interesting. So like Ian Gary looks very good. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's passing the test at the minute. He's just beat Michael Baron Page as well, and he couldn't get him out of there.
Yeah.
So this kid's 1-8, I think, or 1-6, one of them, which basically the odds in the UK are basically saying it's nailed on for him to finish him because the odds are so short, and Neil Magny's 5-1, but he's not easily finishable. The odds just don't make sense to me.
And I remember watching, to be honest, the Shavkat fight, and obviously Shavkat's 18-0 with 18 stoppages, so he stops everyone, but it took him a while to get to Magny.
He took them, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was later on in the fight, though, wasn't it? It took him a while to get to him. If I remember rightly, it was later on in the fight. And
it was, you're right. But I couldn't remember if he subbed them or not. But
it must have been a 3-round fight, mustn't it? It wasn't. Was it? So I think it was the 3rd round. So I could be wrong there. But it felt like he couldn't get to him at first, and it was a close, competitive fight. And now if he's having close, competitive fights with the champion in waiting, for me, Shavkat's the champion in waiting, then Morales is going to have to be at the top of his game. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, obviously we've both got Morales by the sounds of it. I'm not going to touch a finish on this one, I'll be honest with you.
I think Morales probably gets it done, but I certainly won't be backing it.
Yeah. He's 2-2 as well in the UFC in terms of finishes and decisions, Morales. So he's got 12 finishes, 11 by KO, 1 by submission. Yeah. And then he's 16-0, so he's got, what's that, 4 decisions. But in the UFC, he's 2-2 with them. So obviously now he's stepping up a level in competition as well. Yeah. And he's finding it harder to get people out of there. And Neil Magny, like we said, isn't easy to get out of there. So I will go Morales, but I'm not touching a decision. I'm not touching a finish. Yeah. There's no odds available currently for decision, so I don't know what that is yet. But I'll have a dabble.
If you can get somewhere up towards like your evens, in between evens and 2-1 mark for the decision, that might tempt me. But at 1-8 just to win outright, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, I can't see it being that. I can see it being like 10-11 max for the decision.
Yeah, I don't know how strongly he'll go on the KO though. If they've got him at 1-8, if they go strong on the KO, then you might get lucky on the decision price. But for now, I'm staying away from that fight. Although I do think Morales wins, and I don't fancy it strongly enough to back it at 1-8.
Yeah. Okay. Moving into the last fight then on the main card, Golden Boy, Edmen Shabazyan.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Shabazyan. Love him when he comes through. I'm backing him. I'll talk a bit more about that in a sec. But what are you thinking with it?
Well, I've followed you in on this one. I've gone for Shabazyan. Again, not so much on the line because neither fighter's ranked, but it feels similar again. Like I think just the younger, fresher man will get it done. He's got.
That was what I was meant to say in the last one as well. By the way, Neil Magny's ranked. Morales isn't, and he's that much of a favourite. You just reminded me that when you said ranked.
Well, I just now that you've brought that up, we were in high debate last week, and I think I saw that Carlos Prates is now ranked. I think when you look on Short of Sherdog, they'll give you rankings outside of the top 15, and Carlos Prates is coming in now at 17. So Morales, if he gets into the rankings, that could be an absolute barnstormer of a next fighter.
You could also go the other way and give him Magny as well, if Magny stays in there. Like you're saying, Magny is the litmus test.
Yeah, he probably drops out, doesn't he, Magny? If he loses, he probably swap positions. But we shall see.
Yeah. Sorry, go on, mate. You were talking about Shabazyan.
Yeah, what I was touching on with Shabazyan, it's just a similar story, really. Just a bit of a younger, bit of a fresher fighter. Meerschaert's been through it all. He looked pretty poor against Kamzat, I thought. And Edmund's got genuine granite in his gloves. I think he'll get Meerschaert out of there.
Yeah, I do. I fancy a finish.
Yeah.
I loved Edmen Shabazyan, like, because I was watching. What fight night was it? I can't remember what card it was now. Anyway, but he got a lovely finish.
Yeah.
And obviously he finished Brad Tavares as well. Looked really good. And at that point, he was like 11-0.
Was that a head kick as well? That was a head kick, wasn't it?
Yeah, left head kick. And he was coming through 11-0, and he was looking naughty. And then he went on a bit of a skid, but he was fighting good people.
Well,
he got Brunson and Manson.
He's lost 4, hasn't he? And 2, I think, is Hermansson, Brunson, and Imavov. He lost to Imavov, didn't he?
Yeah, he lost to Imavov as well, yeah.
So you're losing to like the elite level fighters.
You're losing to good level. The problem with him was it was all one after the other one. Like, he went 11-0 and then he went 1-4, I think.
Yeah.
So that's when people start forgetting about him. But, you know, I think this is a good fight to come back with. He also got beat by Anthony Hernandez, who's fighting Michel Pereira next. Hernandez looked like, I watched that fight, like, before it, I didn't know much about Hernandez, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
He looked good in there.
Yeah.
Obviously, he beat him. And he's got Michel Pereira next. So the UFC looking like they're trying to build him a little bit, give him like nice competition, which again make you think, okay, his losses are aging well. Obviously, Gerald's well more experienced. He's got like 40-something fights or something mad. But out of 17 losses, he can finish 12 times.
It's miles on the clock as well, isn't it? You might not be like the oldest fighter on the card and stuff. I know Cannonier is a bit older, but it's miles on the clock. And if you finish 12 times, that takes a toll, and that will catch up.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I can see a finish for Shabazyan.
Yeah,
and I can see him making it look good, making a good comeback, and moving on up, getting himself back up there in the rankings.
Totally agree on this one. I've got Shabazyan by stoppage.
Yeah. Have you picked any in prelims?
The only thing I wanted to really talk about on the prelims, I'm not even sure if it's going ahead, because when I look online, it's not confirmed on the UFC's website or nothing. But is Nathan Fletcher fighting?
Do you know what? I was looking at that myself. He's not on the card, is he?
No, it's not. It's not like you can't bet on it. It's not on the card. But if you look on his Instagram, he's in Vegas. He's trying on UFC gloves and that, so he must be fighting.
Mad, don't know.
So, but if you can get odds close to the time, get on Nathan Fletcher.
Yeah.
Got a big, bright future from a great gym right by ours.
Let's see. Nathan Fletcher next fight. Yeah, there's not on him, really, is he?
No, even when you look, I'm just looking through the prelims here. They're not listed on there, Blake. But
unless he's early prelims and they're not listing it.
That's the only thing I can think of. It's just early prelims on maybe Fight Pass or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's on Tapology is the next fight.
Is it? And if you look at his Instagram, like he's definitely in Vegas and he's signed on UFC gloves, so he's there to fight. He's not there for a holiday.
Yeah. I mean, if he is fighting, lovely stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think you'll be able to bet on him if he's on the early prelims, but if you can, back him.
Yeah. Well, for me, this is a card I'll be sort of recording and watching the next day. Yeah. But if he's fighting at sort of 11, 12 o'clock, maybe I'll be staying up for that one because I'm a big fan.
Yeah. And then I just wanted to give a special mention to Brendan Loughnane fighting for the PFL on Saturday. Well, Friday night, early hours, Saturday morning, basically. Again, I won't be. It's going to be late, like 4 o'clock in the morning. I won't, because I won't watch the rest of the card. I'm not really. I like the PFL format, but I don't always like the fights. Obviously, backing Brendan, big. He's actually on my accumulator because I can't get odds on Cannonier at the minute. So I've got a 6-fold with Brendan as the 6th. If I can get odds on Can, I'll probably add him in. And I don't know if I'll take 1 or 2 out.
Just out of interest, what price is Brendan?
Quite sure. I think he was 2 to 5.
Is he? Yeah, I think rightly so.
This fight is striker's dream. Like it's these strikers going at it.
If you want to strike with Brendan Loughnane as well, good luck because he can strike. He can strike like and he's gritty as anything. You'll struggle to hurt him.
Yeah, come out 2 to 7.
Has it? Yeah, I like that. I'd love to see him win another £1 million.
Yeah, so would I. Obviously, this is the semi, and if he gets in there, can't remember when the final is, but it's not long after. I think it'll be like end of September, October time.
Is it that soon, is it?
Maybe mid-October, actually. It's usually about 6 to 8 weeks after, innit?
They must give them sort of an 8-week camp, surely.
You keep doing a season, don't you? It's
yeah, I suppose.
I do love that format, but I think it's quite tough if you get knocks along the way and stuff.
I think it's a brilliant format, but imagine, like, obviously the level isn't quite as high as the UFC. Imagine you did that format in the UFC, you'd get champions that wouldn't necessarily have gotten getting beat. Don't you think? If they're turning around so quick with little injuries and little niggles.
Yeah, Brendan's one of them, and I would have loved to have seen him in the UFC to know the level.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, with him being local to us, we've known about him quite a while.
Yeah.
Maybe Americans don't know about him as much, apart from Dana cutting him because he went for the takedown in the last second.
Yeah.
On the Contender Series.
He's harsh on that, isn't he, Dana? The Contender Series. I don't know if you saw his interview the other day about that Torres Finney.
I've seen it, yeah.
I don't know too much about that Torres Finney. He's just a sort of a meme, and yeah, but it's harsh, that, like.
Yeah. A part of me likes it, because I'm like, yeah, you're setting the bar high there, because he's kind of classing the Contender Series as maybe lower than the Ultimate Fighter in a way. So you've got to work harder to get through it.
Yeah.
To get into the UFC. But yeah, I think he's had a few harsh ones.
Yeah.
And I mean, Brendan Loughnane's very good, and his record's very good. The first finish he ever had was 2 or 3 fights ago. And then since then, he's looked ridiculous. He's come back now. He's in the semi. If he wins this, obviously, he's in the final. Yeah. He's 29-5. He's a good height, and I think he would have done well me at featherweight in the UFC, but I don't know.
He's trained with a lot of sort of UFC fighters, hasn't he? And they all say the same thing. Say he'd be one of the best in the world in the UFC. So
yeah,
it's just sad, really, that we never got to see it.
Yeah, he's got a good brain as well, like MMA brain. He's on a lot of breakdown shows now, and he talks high level about it, where
definitely
he picks and sort of make you think of things that you haven't considered and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully he gets the business done.
Yeah.
So I'll just fly through this academic bit that I've got on at the minute. So I've got Brendan Loughnane, I've got Edmen Shabazyan. Let me see if I can get the finish now. Yeah, I can. TKO/KO 8-13. It's almost not even worth it. Then Neil Magny, Michael Morales. I'm gonna go. Oh yeah, decisions up 10-11. Decision. Nailed it, didn't I? There we go. So that'll do. Let me take him off the other one. It sounds mad doing a decision when his odds are that short, but I might take that out. I'll see. Tabatha Ricci 5-6. Ryan Loader, and then I am going to go Caio Borralho by decision 7-4. So that 6-fold there is 46-1. So it's Morales points, Tabatha Ricci, Ryan Loader, Brendan Loughnane, Shabazyan, TKO/KO, and Caio Borralho by decision 46-1.
Okay, I like that. And while you're talking away there, I'm just trying to build mine as well. I'm just putting it together. I've got Caio Borralho 7-5 to win by TKO or submission. Tabatha Ricci is 5-4 to win by decision. I've got
that is a good shout.
Edmen Shabazyan to win by TKO or submission. And my final pick would be, let's see what odds I can get for my Morales shout. Michael Morales to win by decision 19-20. So my fourfold will be 15-1. It's Caio Borralho to win by TKO or submission, so just finish. Tabatha Ricci by decision, Michael Morales by decision, and Edmen Shabazyan by finish. 15-1.
I've just changed, man. I took out Morales by decision. Just because I think the odds are a little bit crazy.
Yeah, you don't need to go so wild, do you?
So I've gone a 5-fold, and I've added in Tabatha Ricci by decision, and it's 32-1. So some variation of that is probably what I'm going to go for.
And also, obviously, we've gone a bit decision heavy and method heavy there. If you just wanted to pick the 6 tips that I gave earlier, so Borralho, Ricci, Valentin, Santos, Morales, and Shabazyan, that was 9-1.
Okay, nice. Okay, mate. Well, yeah, that's it. Everyone, let us know. Like I said, if you think we're too thumb in the comments and we've got this way wrong, or if you think we're in for a shout, let us know. If anyone backs it, you know where we are, mate. Send the money our way, and we'll tune in next week.
Yeah, really enjoyed the. Just wanted to say, really enjoyed sort of the interactions on comments last week. It give a good insight as well. So if people can keep commenting as well.
Exactly. Thanks, everyone. See you all next week.